Cheers to another great episode of Selector Spread WIXOSS. I'll tell you what right now. This series, man, continues to be great by the week. And so, before I even get into discussing this series, let's just get it out of my system, because I know a bunch of you are going to want to say it in the comments, so I'm just going to say it now. I ship Yuki x Ruko all the way. Ship it like Fedex. Just ship it hard, okay? Now then, if we know it's not Iona, it's just Yuki, Ruko, yeah, just ship it. Just fucking ship it. Okay, now that that's out of my system, and all of you are probably giggling right now like, yes, ship it! Let's talk about this week's episode of Selector Spread WIXOSS. Okay, so the episode, once again, is very simple. Compared to the previous episodes that we had, it's a lot simpler when it comes to the info dumps, and so most likely this might be a quick video compared to the previous one, so thank God, I don't have to edit a 20 freaking minute video. Anyways, this episode, we find out that Iona, the original Iona, comes back into her body. She actually comes back to her real body, and she takes Udaf's spot, pretty much, in the body. The thing is we find out that Mayu technically could not stand the original Iona because of her personality and what she really stood for. For instance, the original Iona's wish when she was a Selector, before, she had her body taken over, she wanted to not be Iona. She did not want to be Iona at all. She just wanted to disappear. That's pretty much what her wish was. She did not want to be that person any longer. And when she became a card, for instance, she told Mayu that, I don't care about battling. I don't care about fighting. I don't care about becoming human again. I got my wish. I don't want to be Iona anymore. And so pretty much Mayu got very pissed off about this and put her into different cards and forcefully made her have, selectors that could not play the game right. For instance, where she could not go back into another body. And that didn't work either, so eventually Mayu got pissed about this, and I'm guessing when you had it to where Tama rejected the body of Iona, she just forced Iona back into that body, because that's something she did not want anyways, and since technically Mayu is the type of person to force torture or pain or misery on top of people, that makes sense that she would force, the original Iona back into her body, if that was something she did not want as a wish. So, yeah. So, clearly, Mayu technically manipulated her rules a little bit. When it comes to terms of her rules that she has, when it means becoming a human again, she kind of broke them just to put more misery upon Iona. That's pretty much what it was. And she actually forced Udaf back into a card for she can continue her cycle of becoming a rig and also becoming, a human over and over again to break people. So, technically, Mayu broke her rules in this episode just to continue the misery. And she did not like Iona. Pretty much. That's really the main thing that happened at the end of the day. And it's really cool. I like the episode for that. I mean, once again, it goes to show you how awful Mayu is as a character. I mean, not a bad character. I'm not saying she's a terrible character. I'm saying, as a person and personality, she's just bad. Just straight up fucking bad. I mean, damn. Wanting to cause misery to people, and even going as far as to put someone that did not want to be in that body back in their own body again, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Even breaking your own rules to do something like that, it's kind of fucked up. So this kind of shows us that Mayu can manipulate her rules at any whim. She has complete, total control over all the rules of WIXOSS, so she can do anything she wants. So, we found out about that after this episode. Another thing, too, though, that was with this episode, I was just seeing and I was like, interesting. Tama gets locked up. She's locked up inside the WIXOSS world or whatever. I don't know exactly. The White Room. I guess we'll just call it the White Room. She's locked up in the White Room. And Mayu states to Tama, saying, you're the most spiteful. You're the most spiteful. You're most cheerful. The most happiest, rig in the card. You're happy. And because you're like that, and because your personality is like that, you are going to leave me before anyone else. You're most likely to leave me. And so Mayu shows her selfishness in this episode, and she forces Tama in this cage, and is just going to force Tama to be stuck in this White Room alongside of her, and not allowing her to become a card ever again, or even have a chance at a human body after what she did. So, I found that really interesting how that was displayed in this episode, and I also like the overall themes, once again, used in this episode, like loneliness. Loneliness, once again, was used. It's a major concept when it comes to this series. Loneliness is a big theme. to Selector, infected and Selector spread WIXOSS. It's a massive theme that's been displayed a lot through the journey of this series, and once again, this episode displays this loneliness, especially with Yuki. For instance, Iona. Either name you want to call her, the girl black, the girl of darkness, you want to call her Iona, you want to call her Yuki, whatever title you want to attach onto her character, this episode showcases that she was lonely, never had a name. And when she looks up into the sky and she says, like, when she was alone with Mayu and all that, and when she heard those noises outside, the snow was the only thing that ever drowned out those noises and made the noises go away. And that kind of represents loneliness when you see the snow coming down and she likes Yuki. So that's really cool. I like that. Once again, you know, Selector's sticking to its roots when it comes to its themes, and I clap for that. I definitely clap for that. Now, Chiori. Chiori, confirmed she has lost. She has definitely lost her match. She has completely forgotten about all Selectors, it seems, in WIXOSS games. It just seems like she's completely forgotten. Like, she couldn't even recognize Hitoe or Ruko in this episode, so we don't know necessarily how far the negative effects go. Because, I mean, since the opposite of her wish, it would force her out of the WIXOSS world, it makes me think if there is Selectors, like people like, you know, Hitoe and Ruko, would that mean that she could possibly not interact with them since they are Selectors and they have something to do with her cross? I mean, that's a possibility, but I don't know. We don't know how far the overall reversal of her wish goes, but we do find out that her wish has been reversed and Eldora disappears, sadly. Kind of sad. It's really fucking sad what happens to her. I mean, she definitely deserves her body back, because she was a really interesting character that deserves more spotlight in the series. Other things about this episode, too, I guess you can go on the entire factor with Hana. You know, Hanyo, I know she's called Hanayo, but I mean, I'm just going to call her Hana, because it's just a lot easier, okay? So, Hana. We find out she actually is starting to have, like, a breakdown or something, or she's starting to have the burden of being, you know, Yuzuki pretty much weighed on top of her. We clearly see this burden displayed in this episode, and if you think about it, there has been foreshadowing to this, because, I mean, a couple episodes back with Futase mentioning that when you get out of your card and get into someone else's body, you're burdened by the Selector's wish. And it can easily be really bad for whoever is in that body when it comes to the terms of that wish, and that's part of the misery. And so you have to think about this. Technically, Hana is, you know, kind of being weighed down by the burden that Yuzuki's wish was, and you can definitely tell. You can definitely tell the way her overall persona is perceived in this episode, in these past couple episodes, and this entirety of this season. And so it's kind of sad. It's really sad seeing that, and with her actually trying to communicate with Ruko, Yuzuki, and Hitoe in this episode, it shows you that maybe she's trying to do something about it. Maybe she's trying to get back into being a Selector. Maybe that she might try to do something like that, where she can leave this body. I don't know. I'm just making theories, assumptions. But overall, episode, pretty damn good. It was a pretty damn good episode. Once again, when it comes to Selector, I love Selector a lot. And you know what? Cheers for the next week's episode of Selector Spread WIXOSS. Chibi out.